Stuck into it. Welcome back to the MMA Creators Podcast, episode 79. Coming at you with a little bit of a late episode, but we promise you it will be worth the wait because we've got a lot of stuff to get into. And I feel like the first logical thing to jump into is, of course, Will, your travels across Asia, covering UFC Macau, in the corner of one Lonnie Kavanagh, who, of course, got a win that night. And everything in between, exploring Hong Kong. Fill me in, mate. What were the highlights?
Hard to summarize. It was flipping mental, to be perfectly honest. Very hard to summarize because obviously we have spoke since I done the Karate Combat event, but the fact that they were back to back is just super intense, super intense. So I got home yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it only just started sinking in the last fortnight that I've had, really, and it has been ridiculous. The trip to UFC Macau was everything I hoped it to be and more, to be perfectly honest. And I always say to you, whenever there's a fight week, it's always so intense, and I mentally prepare for that. I mentally prepared for UFC Manchester. It surpassed it, but I was ready, and I prepared for Macau, and I felt like I was on top of it. And a lot of things happened. A lot of people were met. A lot of funny stories, a lot of fun times, a lot of cool travel stories, and a lot of just surreal experiences.
Can I play?
You orchestrate. Go for it.
So, first question, I feel like I got to ask you, because this is what I'm always interested in the most. Is what was the? I say let's go with the most interesting person you met for the first time, or someone you've met before on the whole trip.
Someone that I met and put a name to a face that I actually really did want to speak to. Someone that has followed me for a little while, and someone that I have learned a lot from through the business sense is Uriah Faber. And I got to have a very good conversation with Uriah Faber, actually, a very good conversation. And I was super grateful for that, because he's someone that, when it comes to business, when it comes to the MMA world, of course, he's a pioneer in his own rights in the sport. But from a money sense and from a branding sense, he's one of the best to do it. So it was fun picking his brain for a few projects that have come up, some cool conversations between us two. That was one person. Justin Gaethje was an interesting cat. That was a weird one. That was at the after party. Was weird fortunate. Weird. He was just lagging. The fella was just lagging.
I mean, that's literally what I was going to ask, because he doesn't seem like he's not the most conversational of individuals, is he, really?
He's not conversational, I don't think.
No, I know.
I think he's pretty chill.
He's kind of just...
He's a loose cannon.
Just Gaethje.
You know? Yeah, how do you describe him? It's just je ne sais quoi. It's just Justin Gaethje. How do you really describe him? I don't really know. Next thing I know, he's leg kicking my mates, and then I'm holding the camera. He's leg kicking me. I said, "This is not consensual. This is not consensual."
How did that feel? I mean, even if he's not going 100%.
It wasn't too hard. I had a random sparring session with some Russian man in Bangkok, so I was primed and ready for Justin Gaethje low kicks, to be honest. So if there was ever a moment, he caught me at the sweet spot of my training career. So yeah, that was an interesting one. Justin Gaethje was fortunate to meet up with Ali Mack and record the Food Fighters episode. She's super cool, actually, and she's doing a lot of quite refreshing projects with some really cool people, and she's got a good mind for business as well, so quite cool to speak to her. A lot went on. I don't know where I'm going with this. If you want to dissect it and ask me some more questions, go for it. But yeah, it was intense.
What was the weirdest thing that happened? That was where I was going to go second.
There were a lot of weird things, to be perfectly honest, and
I'm talking like a politician right now.
That's so funny that you said that, because that's actually what they kept saying to me on the trip. They said, "Why do you always answer things like a politician?"
Yeah.
That's funny. That's super funny. What I was going to say is there'll be things that come to my head that are strange
No, you're
throughout,
taking your time. I get it.
right? There'll be things come out that's strange, and this isn't going to be the fanciest or the funniest answer, but genuinely, what actually probably was the weirdest was the fact that we went through that entire process of going backstage, him warming up, walking out, performing, winning, interviews.
Lonnie, for the record.
Lonnie Kavanagh, sorry. And then the arena is in the hotel. So you slip out the back door and you're in your hotel room in 30 seconds. And to just be at the contrast of both of those moments where it's just Lonnie, Ash, Colton, his two coaches, and just completely silent in the room after all of that, after all of the build up all week with the camera crew, with the documentary film series that's following him around for the last 6 months. Just those two moments, super surreal, super surreal. So although that's probably not the funniest answer, it definitely probably was the moment that felt the strangest throughout the process for sure.
And of course, I'm sure just being super grateful for that. You're being a fly on the wall, really, because that's, I mean, you're more than that, really, at this point. But that's just a cool experience to go through. I was also going to ask you about the Hong Kong trip, because you posted about it on Instagram, and this sounded like something you were really, I don't know, you enjoyed a lot. So I'm just curious. I wanted to pick your brain on that, really.
Yeah, Hong Kong
Obviously, that was a sort
fun.
of the wind down, a bit more of a celebratory time, less working. I'm assuming, but by your standards, I know what you're like. So still probably work to be done.
I was still on, to be honest. I didn't.
Of course.
I would have liked to have actually captured more work. I think that was something that when I got home, I reflected on, and that was my drawback that I said to myself. I said, you know what? I let my foot off the gas a little bit too much on the second part of the trip. I still captured a lot and still caught more than enough, but subconsciously I checked out a little bit as well, and there was actually a lot of fun things for me to capture. But at that point, I hadn't slept really for 2 weeks. I had a very intense last week myself. Like I say to you all the time, fight week super intense, because the moment I get up, I'm on. There are work connections to be made. There's content to be filmed after thinking about the angles, thinking about editing it, thinking about getting out my own videos still for TikTok, for Instagram, podcasts like this, all different things that constantly ticking away. I'm still having to do all of my work, but just on the top of a thing. So I'm not saying that as in, oh, cry me a river. I'm saying that as in, I love it, but it's just on from the moment I get up. And the moment I was getting up with Ash was at 5 a.m. to go into the gym and get workouts in. So I was going no sleep. I did this on at least 3, if not 4 of the nights of fight week. I would go no sleep until 5 a.m., start the day with a gym workout, then would go straight to the breakfast buffet from 6:30, and then sort of be with the coaches from about 6:30 till 9, and then go my full day and pretty much just do that and catch an hour here and there. So when I say it's full on, I mean because it's literally non-stop, which I absolutely love.
I do not want to know how much caffeine was consumed.
Not that much. Never more than 2 coffees a day. Never more than
really?
that. Yeah, never more.
Even under
than
those
that.
conditions.
No, I don't I don't like catting out for it like that. So I would start in the morning.
I'm slipping on that standard. I can't lie. It's not good.
I'd start in the morning, maybe have one around 7 or 8ish, at which point I'd been up for a few hours and had a workout. And then maybe I'd have one towards the end of the buffet whenever I left, or maybe one towards the back end of the day. Just a little boost. But yeah, nothing crazier than that for sure. You know what's crazy? You know what's actually kind of crazy though? I was looking through the interview I did with Lonnie 2 years ago in Cage Warriors when he was 3-0, just went 4-0. And I said to him at the end of the interview, and the cameras completely missed the shot. It just so happens to capture him in it. I'm well out of shot, taking it terribly. Terrible lighting. And I
It's part of the
said,
game.
yeah, it's just fun to look back on.
Growing pains.
I said to him, what does tonight look like now? How do we celebrate? Because last time we got a few drinks and we got a McDonald's. So what's tonight? And it just made me laugh because 2 years later, he has another win, UFC debut. And exact same thing. We went McDonald's afterwards, me, Ash, Colton, him. We got some McDonald's, had a shower, and then we had a few drinks. But it just so happened the drinks this time were at the after party of the UFC, and it was free-flowing Moe. I'm not a big champagne guy, so I don't... Although it sounds nice and it looks nice, I don't...
Yeah, I mean, I even when I was drinking, I was never really big on it.
Yeah,
I
didn't go for that. But they did have, to be fair, they did have all the nicest sort of spirits on deck as well. So again, not a tequila guy. So the Don Julio and whatnot.
Oh mate, honestly, my uni secret weapon.
Don't,
everyone, you know,
don't say
shot of tequila, and you know, no, I had it a few times, tequila, but with apple juice as a chaser. I know that sounds mental.
It's meant to be pineapple, you donut.
No, I know it's not conventional, but
no,
I'm telling
it's meant
you,
to be
juice,
pineapple.
I don't care what it's meant to be. I'm just telling you what I did, and it worked so well. It removes the flavor. It was perfect.
No,
because tequila tastes vile. I will say. So you have to follow.
The reason I'm saying that is because you're 50% away from the original, which is tequila and pineapple is the sort of the alkaline, you know, the neutralizer.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you'll get similar from apple.
I know. But
do you though?
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I just like the taste of it though. It's like, no, I know you follow it up, obviously. Because why would you leave? Okay, let's just move on. I'm not even doing this. Now it's making me remember why I don't drink anymore. It's just shit. It's pointless. It's dumb.
Well, that was the first time that I drank in 2 years, right?
So yeah, I was going to ask you this because I know you're not a big drinker. Was that not a sense of? I don't know how you feel about it because obviously I guess you never really made the conscious decision not to, but does that when not sort of cutting that streak of 2 years? Does that not? I guess no better time to do it. To be fair,
I had a thing which I told you before. I'm pretty sure I told the podcast. The only time I would drink would be if it was a pint of stout with Conor McGregor. And that same day, he had the GRAPE allegations.
Yeah,
not. Lon had also just made his debut win. And we'd been flirting with the idea, and I was with my close friends, and they knew that I had not drunk in 2 years. And they would never sort of force me for the sake of it. And they said, come on, like this is a big time. And we got back to the hotel room, and Lon cracked open a soju, and he poured out 4 little glasses. And we were in the hotel room, and it was just him and his team. And I just thought, you know what, I can't not have a toast here. And then when we got to the after party, I thought I got to toast a champagne glass, because it's just a very special moment, and you don't get a lot of moments like that in life sometimes,
for sure.
Because it went deeper than a lot of people won't actually know the true extent of that situation for me, because it went deeper than even just the fact of the opportunity of what I got, and obviously seeing Lon create a cool moment, which was cool. But also, I've explained before, his housemate and one of his closest friends is like my family, right? So he was there on that trip. One of my other friends from back home, who's like family to me, was on that trip. And it was just a very weird full circle moment. And it was super cool, super intense, full stop, but super cool. So yeah, it was good to break the streak in that manner. And I can very easily go back to day 0 and roll it again, because
I think that's a skill, isn't it?
I don't miss it. And I realize I can do that all sober.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. Wait, how was the legs, if you will? How did you take the alcohol? Because after 2 years out, this is what I was curious about.
I've got a certain level of just. It's like you have a certain level of ability, right? When you play football, right. That if you're out of the game for 5 years, 6 years, you still come back. You still got a touch. You can still ping a ball. If I come back, my match fitness is not quite there, but I've still got a decent enough touch. I still know the game well enough to defend well enough and be good one-on-one. Just got to get a little match
or in this case, not get plastered.
So yeah, when I had a few drinks again, I slipped straight back into I know how to drink and how not to drink, not be one of those wallies that doesn't understand the game. Also understand how I operate it anyway, what to sort of have and how quickly and things of that nature. And I just go back to it. It's not that difficult for me to have a good amount or consistently
I feel like
have a
anyone who
good amount
knows
and
how to
not get too
control
drunk.
themselves,
Clear spirit. I'll tell you the rules. I know the rules. Clear spirits in regards to vodka, soda, limes. No mix of alcohol. No shots other than Jaeger bombs. If I were to
eat
have
beforehand.
a shot, absolutely doesn't really matter to me. The eating thing, ultimately,
Really?
it doesn't. For most people, it should and doesn't really change too much for me. If I stay within these boundaries, eat, no eat, it doesn't really change anything. I don't usually like to eat that much anyway, just because get prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, clear spirits, no mixing of the alcohols.
All right.
Don't go too crazy. Singles only on the spirits. Yeah, good to go all evening. But had a couple of waters at the end. Saw
Smart.
Diego Lopez. And it was
Was he getting on it?
He had a few drinks. He wasn't
Yeah.
too crazy. He had a few drinks.
Disciplined.
Lon
Like a
had a
title fight
shot
corner.
with Mick Maynard, which was
Nice.
Mick Maynard, sorry. So that was cool. Yeah, it was a fun
Weird
night
world.
all in all. Hong Kong was cool. Hong Kong, in answer to your question, yeah, Hong Kong was super cool. Hong Kong was super cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because you have to think, right? Lon's actually from Hong Kong and he's never been. So that's actually his place of origin. So the fact that he fought in Vegas for Dana White, then he comes to the Chinese Vegas, where he's actually born in Hong Kong. And we go over there and he experiences the place for the first time. So it was actually cool to sort of round off the trip like that. And also it's just super fun. Like, it's a really cool city. It's an interesting city. It feels like you're in the East, you know? Sometimes there's cities that feel a little bit like others, but this really gives you a different vibe. So yeah, it was a cool experience.
Special. Yeah, I don't know where to go next. No, you're not waffling at all. I'm fully engaged.
I'll give you the catch up on the week, right? So I'll give you the catch up on the actual week. So on the start of the week, we get there and he does the check-ins and also does the media work. So that was the most sort of not hands-on, but the most close I've been to the situation before. So it was cool to see it inside out, just to see the small details of even the production, go through the whole process of getting your food on the day, all of that sort of stuff. And then later in the week, obviously, I had the link up with the UFC Macau gym with Steve.
Oh,
so shout out to Steve.
Yeah, shout out Steve. How was that?
That was fun, actually, to be honest. It was good fun. It was actually a really cool gym. I did not expect it to be as cool as it was.
Yeah, they don't do half measures, honestly, with the UFC stuff. Like, they don't, like the Enterprise gym stuff. It's crazy.
You say that, but it is a franchise, right? So you do get some that are just...
That's true, actually. Fair point. Yeah.
Are just gyms. Okay? There's nothing too special about them.
It's just very expensive, but it's really nice inside.
They'll have a lot that are not too special, but this one is up a few floors in this building, and it overlooks Macau and overlooks the lake, and it has a infinity pool at the top. It's got really nice open plan space, really bright windows. It's super cool. Nice sauna inside, and then obviously we had a little boxing session as well, so that was cool. That was actually a really fun experience. And then we went straight from there pretty much to this local restaurant in the heart of Macau. And the owner put on an absolute banquet for us. We went in the kitchen and I went to have a look at a few dishes that they were making and speak to the fella who was in charge. And he said, "Are you hungry?" I said, "Yeah, we're pretty hungry." I thought they were going to do one or two dishes. He just brought out the menu. He just brought out the entire menu, top to bottom, had absolutely everything for us, really spoiled us, took care of us. He even got in the famous egg tarts from their local bakery down the road, had them specially delivered to us. So, yeah, shout out to Big Mamas in Macau because they really looked after us. And it was a super cool experience because the owner, he said to us, it was funny, he said, "Oh, I'm a bit camera shy. I don't, I'll put the mic on, but I'm a bit shy. And then he just goes, boom, straight into it, gives us the full history, the full breakdown, all the heritage of the food, the culture, his story. and his entire family's story and the story behind the brand and the business, and it was intriguing because Chinese and Portuguese culture is just a very unique.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it before when we did the in-person studio episode, and we were talking about, obviously you hadn't left at that point. We were talking about the upcoming trip and just the blend of Chinese and Portuguese culture, particularly within food, is just, yeah, I don't know anywhere else that has that sort of, that drastic of a combination of two different cultures mashed together. But yeah, what was the best thing you ate there?
You know what? I'll be real. I just really enjoyed just the pork steaks and the chicken.
Oh,
you know,
nothing
too fancy. Just a bit of bread and meat. We had a lot of nice dishes. They gave us some king prawns. They were really tasty. But I like the tasty chicken, Portuguese style on the open grill. I like that with the pork as well. So I actually really enjoyed those. But we had some nice things. The egg tarts were tasty.
I don't know. Egg tarts
were tasty.
They're not my thing.
And I'm open to try them. These were made with. I actually liked them more than any I'd tried before, really. And it was because they were less egg-like. And I asked him, and it was because he put more milk in. So I think the key is just to find some that are a little bit more milky, because he said it's not usually the traditional way that they do them, but it's his way that he does them adds a little bit more milk. So yeah, I think that was the key to that. Food was nice. Food was nice for the most part. Didn't really have too many sort of local dishes, too many authentic dishes, just because of the way things were. We ate at the mall a couple of times. Had a couple of nice little dishes there. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, food-wise, it was mainly just a buffet breakfast. My goodness. What people don't really understand, when the UFC go anywhere, it's a 5-star hotel. So, if nothing else, you're guaranteed a decent hotel gym, at least an okay one, and a buffet breakfast. And a delicious buffet breakfast is often the result. And I've been to a few of the hotels now, and they are good.
I'm glad I've eaten.
They're good.
Yeah, I hate talking about food when I'm on an empty stomach. It's like watching MasterChef on TV, you know. I can never watch it because when I've eaten, you know, I don't want to watch it because I'm already full. And when I'm hungry, I don't want to watch it because it just makes me angry because I can't have what they've got.
Do you still watch MasterChef?
No, I don't. But every time I see my family watching it for some god awful reason, especially now, you better not be watching it now with all that stuff kind of about Greg Wallace.
That, really?
Yeah. They're still. I don't understand why. No, they're not. They're not fanatics. Don't worry.
Are they watching the celebrity ones? Are they watching the other ones?
Oh, I don't know. Yes, actually, yeah. I think it was probably a celebrity episode that was on TV.
What's happened with Greg Wallace? Has he gone down for nonsense too as well?
Not. We're talking like not nonsense, but like halfway. I know that's halfway doesn't make sense. Just dodgy shit. Dodgy. A lot of workplace complaints essentially.
I need some clarification here.
Yeah, a lot of workplace complaints from employees of the female variety. So
gropey.
I don't think it was that. I think it was just the stuff he was talking about, just making people uncomfortable. I don't
suggestive.
know. Let's go with that.
Greg
I don't know the
Wallace's
ins and outs,
but Greg is suggestive.
He's a bit of a weird guy anyway, isn't he? I'm not surprised.
Is anyone shocked? Has anyone actually watched MasterChef before?
Yeah,
his whole vibe.
Yeah, for the record, we're talking about a cooking show on TV in the UK. So some people are not going to have any idea what we're going to talk about here. But actually, what I was going to ask you about, sorry, real quick, I just wanted to jump it back to, we are getting on a massive tangent of epic proportions there. But I did want to ask you, actually, about one more thing, which was, of course, somehow I did not pick up on this while watching it live, was the fact that you were in the corner and refused to mention it to me at all, that you were going to be in Lonnie's corner and on TV come the fight. And I only clocked it once you posted about it on Instagram the other day. And I had to go and retroactively watch the TNT Sports highlights.
Did you?
And I started cracking up because I found it hilarious. But how did I not notice that? And why did you not tell me? That's what I wanted to know.
Got to be dialed in for that. You never know when these things may crop up. Come on.
What did you actually do? Were you in the corner when in between rounds? Because obviously in the highlights they didn't show it, so I couldn't see that back.
So you're allowed 2 in the cage, right? And I believe if someone is working on a cut, then you probably only have one. So what happens is I can then go round the back. So I can just go the cage side. I can't go in the cage, but I'll just go behind the cage. So I just went behind him. I was just taking photos and videos.
No words of motivation. No rubs on the back.
Not really. No.
I suppose you're not necessarily qualified for that. I was going to say, I was telling...
qualified for a pat on the back, I think.
Yeah, maybe you can get away with that. No, but
I was think.
Yeah, I was telling someone about it that you were cornering. I can't remember who, and they were like, "Oh, did they were they doing any coaching?" I was like, "No, mate, no. It's just not remotely qualified for that." No offense, of course. Not that you would take it.
It's not anything other than everything in that regard is taken care of. Hence why I can be there and
yes, for sure,
record the content, you know? There isn't anything between the outside of them that needs to be covered. So I can for sure motivate, but I'm also there to do a job. That's kind of how I felt about it, because it was a super wild experience, right? Super wild.
That must have been pretty cool. Walking out.
I'm just walk out, lights hit you. And obviously I'm just watching my friend make his walk for his UFC debut. And it was just the weirdest thing, seeing all of these Chinese fans hanging down and just trying to high-five him as he's walking through the lights. And just, yeah, but the truth of it was, although I knew that was going on and that was cool, I just kind of thought, I've got a job to do here.
Yeah.
And although some people will think, yeah, but it's only holding a phone, or it's not how I view anything that I do. And anyone that knows me will know that. I really felt like I had a job to do. I really felt like I had to be dialed into the process. Felt like I had to be in control of my emotions as well, you know. So just not wanting to upset the apple cart in any sort of way at all. And
I think it makes you realize the pressure that these guys are actually under, because you're not even fighting, right? And I'm not saying you were nervous, but it's a daunting experience, right? Walking out in front of those lights, you know, not even on the biggest card of all time, but it doesn't really matter. It puts it into perspective.
You know
so if
what,
you're
though?
in that position, right, that Lonnie's in, for example,
you know what? I honestly could sort of feel how he felt in regards to. Let me articulate that better. I felt like I had a sense of what he was feeling after I'd spoke with him, after I get to know his preparation a little bit better.
And you know him.
And I know him, of course, as well, right? And I know, obviously, again, the people around him very well. I know his coach very well. And then, obviously, I know his other coach very well now as well. So on all those sort of levels, as I'm walking out, I'm sort of, I can understand, obviously, on a much better level what he was probably feeling. And he's just so locked in. Honestly, I know he would be nervous. I know he would feel like there's attention and pressure, and sure, all of that. There is every fight. But I don't think it would have been too much different from the Cage Warriors fights. I don't think it would have been. I think it would have been a lot different from the Dana Whites in regards to that was probably the strangest one, just the way that it was set up. But he's just so locked into the goal, and he's so sort of unfazed by almost anything that isn't fighting at the highest level. Kind of just, I imagine he was very locked in, and he kind of thought that way. Yeah, kind of thought that way as well.
Oh, that spinning, I mean, I don't know the exact name of that technique, but that spinning kick in the third round, the switch stance into that was just, man.
I caught it on camera.
Did you? Oh, I'm going to have to watch that.
Caught it on
it's
camera.
Just beautiful technique, man.
If you, I actually made a video. I made a video, and I tagged him in it yesterday. It was it's him next to a Central C poster, and I get him to rap the first couple of lines, and then it rolls into sort of like a mini promo video. You'll see it, it's cool. And you'll see at the end of it, I include that exact kick when the beat drops on the song. It's a sick little promo. And that video that I took of him before he walked out, that's going sizzler. Absolutely.
Is it?
Mate. It was on about 200k last night, and it was only up for a day, and I said to one of the coaches, I said, this is going to grow exponentially. I woke up today, it's on like 500,000.
Fucking hell. Really?
It's insane. It's just a really cool clip. It's one of my favorite clips I've ever captured.
Is that angle
honest.
from behind him, just as he's walking out?
It's the one before it's the one before he walks out. And it just has
sick.
Ash hyping him up. And then it's just the way he sort of looks back before he walks through the curtain. And then it's just like, 3, 2, walk, 1, walk. And he's like, no, don't push you. He won't push you. And then he just like looks back and then boom, he just walks and the lights just go boom. I just think this is sick. This was just one of my favorite shots I ever caught. Honestly was. I've watched it so many times.
That's what makes it worth it though, isn't it? Those moments, being along for the ride for that. And in a lot of ways, it's quite cool because you don't have to, I mean, you do. I've got to articulate this carefully in the same way you did just a minute ago. It's just like no, but you don't have to shoulder that weight of responsibility necessarily, that pressure, right? Because at the end of the day, it is down to the fighters to perform, and they are feeling the emotions of everyone else around them, right? So that's almost cool that you don't have to deal with that pressures, but you can experience all the positives along with it.
But what I think that he's done a great job of, and one thing that I speak to Frank, my friend, and his housemate a lot on this is one thing with Lon, and it's like this with a few fighters I know, is not just exclusive to him. But one thing that he does very well is understands that he does that very well. He does that bit, this bit, which is performing under the bright lights at a very high level in MMA. He does that very well. And he understands that just everything else, there's people that are excellent at what they do in those positions. And he understands to just put those people in those positions. And he just doesn't really have any ego attached in that. And I think he has that very, very good blend. And it reminds me sort of, I was thinking about it the last couple of days, he sort of reminds me in regards to just the storyline a little bit. Kind of reminds me of Sean O'Malley in a lot of ways, to be perfectly honest.
That's interesting.
Really reminds me of the Sean O'Malley experiment in a lot of ways. Not only just because of the Dana Whites, you've got the super viral moment. But I think the thing is with Lon is, as much as I love Sean, it will never be forced from Lon, you know? It just never will be. He's just never going to...
It's just him.
He's never going to sort of step outside of himself. And I think the fact that you get his style and then you get that sort of version of him, I think the UFC really want to promote him. And I'm obviously spoke to the coaches about how to run his socials and whatnot. Really leaning into the Chinese market, I think, is massive, huge.
Oh, huge, especially now.
Oh, absolutely huge. We're going there, Leo, and he's getting absolutely swarmed by people.
Really?
By people, yeah, in the malls, getting absolutely swarmed.
That's really interesting because you don't normally, if you put the shoe on the other foot and put it in another country, you don't get that same level of mobbing unless it's someone who's
Chinese,
the fighters,
right?
Yes, right, exactly. Their nationality matches the country they're in. So that's quite interesting.
This is the thing. So once Ash changed the nationality made sure the nationality was Chinese, and you lean into that angle, they put him on Macau on his homecoming in his birthplace, which is just another added pressure. The Chinese fans loved him. And then what? They're going to go back to the UK and go back to London, his other hometown, where people love him there as well. And then hopefully Nathaniel will be on that card as well.
Oh,
yeah, March.
Mate.
Yeah, March card.
I'm going to try and be there, I think. Depends how much it's going to cost me. That.
And then hopefully Nathaniel will be on that card as well. So that'd be great. That'd be a great story to have both of them. And you never know, actually. There may be other people from the gym that happen to just get a last-minute call-up. You never know with those sort of cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of exciting things happening. He understands to put people in the right position. So, yeah, it was pretty surreal. It was pretty surreal. And I've got a lot of footage and a lot of content.
Surreal is probably... Yeah, exactly. And that gives you a nice backlog, right? Stuff you can sort of recycle, repost. Yeah, I think that's something so good with what you do in particular in terms of the style of content you make is that you can stretch a lot more. That you can use a lot more, right? You can make a lot out of a little, which compared to something about what I do with my long form stuff, it doesn't really translate as well. To an extent, obviously with short form, I can, but that's good. So you have loads. You could be posting for honestly, you could have like a year's worth of content almost. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Maybe I'm underselling it. Honestly, there's so much you can do and recycle and repackage. So, and I got to be careful in the way I talk about it like that, because it almost sounds like I'm doing it in a numerical kind of no care for the creative side of the passion when I describe it like
not
that.
necessarily.
I don't mean it in the slightest.
They wouldn't get any views if they were numerically pushed out, and it was pushed out because it was another number of content. It would respond as such. You know, people wouldn't interact with it. It wouldn't perform well. So you'd know that anyway from the metric. So yes, there's millions of pieces there, and if they don't perform well, then that will show that there's not enough care. But if I package correctly and if I tell the correct story, then yeah, I think I've even got really intriguing angles. Like I'm just chopping up a day in the life now, and I've got the Insta 360 chess piece of me hitting the mitts at that UFC gym. So there's just
nice
fun things that I can mix up with, and just different angles that I've tried to play with. Like I said, I had one of my close friends with us on the trip, and he's a photographer, so he took some photos for me as well. So yeah, got a lot of different angles to play with. It's been pretty fun to get stuck into, but I still don't like the editing, I'll be real.
Yeah. It doesn't change, does it?
I still hate it.
Well, I mean, you can maybe get to that point. I mean, I know you have to an extent, right, where you can offload some of that work. So there's always an option.
It's that is an option. It's not necessarily expensive. I actually think it's net positive. It's more so just me being also a little bit more proactive. It's me just being a bit more proactive in creating what the formula looks like and how to articulate that to someone so that they can recreate in my own style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you want them to stick to your thing.
No, the truth of it is, I would like two people. There's two ways I can go about it. There's people that I'm bringing on board to work with on a project to do things in their own way, and I'm bringing them on for that purpose and responsibility. They have a particular style, they have a particular vibe, a particular voice, and the reason I'm working with them is for that reason. But then there's also another capacity working with people where I would like their help in editing, but I would like it done so in a style and a vibe and a voice that I've curated, and here's a sort of blueprint to edit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's something I'm always considering. Whether I'm looking at, like, I actually outsourced a thumbnail for this week, and I didn't even end up using it because I didn't necessarily like the final outcome. Even after they did, I was on a very strict time schedule, so I didn't have enough time to get it redone multiple times. So they did re-edit it, and I wasn't really happy with it. Obviously, I still paid them, of course, but I ended up going with my own design anyway. So it does matter. Like, you have a creative vision. I think you want it to be executed. If you want it to be executed to the best of what you're imagining, then that's quite a difficult thing to do sometimes. So I understand that problem as a whole. I wish I could say my week has been anywhere close to as exciting, but I don't think I could do anything that would top that. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's not been that great because I was playing. This is the most contrasting thing. I was playing five-a-side on a cold Tuesday, and yeah, not in Stoke, but it felt like it because it was bloody freezing. But I ended up forgetting the fact that I can actually get hurt playing football. I think after doing a long time doing combat sports and training and being quite lucky in that regard, I've never really taken any serious damage outside of, you get the occasional knee or elbow or punch or whatever. It hurts, but it's whatever. And I was just a little bit too late to a 50-50 challenge, and I caught a forearm directly to the mouth area and chipped my tooth, which is good.
Oh,
barely,
no.
Thankfully. No. Thankfully, I was so lucky. No. It's barely, so you can't actually tell. It like shaved off a bit of my front tooth.
You can. Where is it?
No, you can't. You won't be able to see it. It's basically like a bit of the front of the front tooth has come off. But it's not like the corner, so you can't even. You would never notice. Thank God. But I took it. Yeah, I got knocked down pretty bad. And then I just sort of sat there looking up, like in pain, my whole body in pain, just like, oh my God, did not want to move. So that was fun. And then I also got my arse handed to me on sparring on Thursday. So because I've been another 2 weeks out because of that. So, but again, you live and you learn. I was actually doing a lot of thinking about that and the sort of jiu-jitsu journey, because I feel like that's a thing a lot of people talk about in the community and their own personal experiences. And I think you can draw the comparison a lot to
Cults.
comparing to other people. Cults is I wasn't going there, but I can agree with that.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
I
you just
I
teed
agree.
me up.
Yeah. Yeah, but comparison is something I mentioned before. I'm doing less of when it comes to YouTube and numbers, and trying not to think I'm inferior or feeling like I'm not doing enough in comparison to other people. And I feel like I'm starting to learn to not do that, or within the jiu-jitsu realm, because I think that's a really difficult thing not to do, especially when you spar with guys who are probably training less time than you, but they can beat you, and that can be quite a disheartening thing. But some people just have a natural talent for it. But also, a lot of these guys are training 6 days a week, so which is 3 times as much as me per week. So there's important to keep into perspective. But either way, that I don't think that matters. I think what matters is you just got to focus on your own things and where you can actually improve, and being a bit more proactive in that. Because I feel like I don't use my sparring sessions as productively enough as I could, because I end up going back to my safe options, which I know I'm good at, rather than embracing the things I'm not.
Yeah, that's not how you want to be playing the game at all.
Yeah.
Because firstly, you don't really grow or learn. And secondly, that's what training's for. And you're not even competing anyway. So if you're being conservative in training and you're not really competing, then you're just being conservative for the sake of nothing, really. So
well,
you want
to an extent, because I do actually, no, in free sparring,
How?
I intentionally start from positions I'm bad at. Like I'll
Oh,
put
I'm
myself
just going
in
off
bottom
what
side
you tell
control.
me.
No, for sure. But I'm talking about in the middle of the rolls. Like oftentimes, instead of trying to look for a sweep to get back into a top position where I know I'm not as good at and I need to get better
stop
at,
being boring.
I go back to my triangles too much.
Stop being boring.
It's not good, man. It's because I'm just good at them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a triangle for the fucking millionth time, rather than doing something I'm not good at.
Yeah,
It's not
just
good.
do something a little different, you know? Have a little
I know.
fun. Get a little creative.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it though. It's just tiring, man. And also, my ringworm just came back, so I had to take more time off. I was like, come on, man.
Ringworm?
Well, no, it's in the same spot. So I was dumb as hell. Basically, it faded.
Scumbag.
It faded basically completely, and so I was like, oh, it's good now. Because I looked by the guidelines, I should have been fine. So I was like, okay, we're cool. And I just forgot about it, and I was like, hang on, this is starting to just get more red again. And I was like, oh, motherfucker. So I had to take more time off and then kick that out. So that's fun. But yeah, it's not been
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, it will be worth it, because I've had a really, with work as well, it's been tough, and trying to get that over the line. I'm behind on my video for this week, and I have been for the last few weeks, but I'm still pumping out good stuff, even if it's not performing as well as I'd probably hope to. You have to wade through those low moments, and it is going to be worth it, because of course I'm going away on Monday morning. Is it
this Monday?
It's Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
Jeez, that came around quickly.
I know, right? So I'm still gonna be working, just like you. I know the mindset, we sort of share that same mindset of still having to do some bit of work, even when probably we're supposed to be relaxing, or we should relax.
What is
can't
relax?
help ourselves a little bit. Yeah, there's no such thing.
What's
I can't sit here and do nothing. I don't know, but I am going to go out there with the family, enjoy some time in the sun, even though I'm probably going to get scorched and burn. And I'm going to do a little bit of writing out there, trying to get my creative juices back and recharge. I really need it. I really, really need. I realize that I need this time away. Even if I'm still doing work, I'm doing a lot less. I'm stripping back because I've just struggled. Landing in Bangkok and going into a small place that begins with a P, but I can't remember the name of it. And then sort of going around doing all sorts of stuff. It's going to be really nice. I don't know. I'll send you. I can get the itinerary up afterwards, and I'll.
No, I want to know
I'll
now.
send it to you. I don't. Yeah, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Come on.
I don't. I wish I could. I wish I could tell you.
Terrible.
But we're doing some cool boating trips and stuff like that, and little things here and there. It'll be really nice. The main thing is the food.
Do you want to learn? You're going when? Monday. This Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to learn a phrase before you go.
Yeah, hit me with that.
What would you like to learn? Like to learn how to order an iced coffee, maybe?
Yes. That would probably be the best.
Okay.
Thing I could.
How sweet would you like it?
Oh no, not sweet. We don't do sweet here.
Tiny bit of sweetness or no sweetness?
Nah, none. I mean, milk. None. The only sweetness you're getting is from milk. That's it. So I guess you could say that.
Okay. So you'll say the type of coffee that you'd like. So let's say latte.
Right, latte. Yeah.
And then if you wanted it hot, you'd say hot. If you wanted it cold, you'd say cold. So I'd say cold, you say yen. So you'd say latte yen.
Latte yen.
If you want it no sweetness or sugar is wan. So WAN. That's sweetness. So whatever word you'd like, you put in front of it. So
Right.
if it was no sweetness, to say no is like my. So you say like my wan. So I'd be like latte yen, my wan. Crap.
Crop, please.
Crap.
Right.
Yeah. So latte yen. I would say latte
Cup.
yen wan noi. So wan noi basically just means a little bit of sweetness, but
Maybe,
yours
yeah.
is no sweetness. So my wan.
Latte yen, my one club.
That's it.
Coffee that. Like
Latte.
that. I like
there
that.
you go.
There you go. I'm actually excited to try the coffee. I almost forgot about it.
That was good for me, by the way. Little lesson.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, off the cuff. I like that.
Yeah.
Almost fluent.
And then if you want to say large one, it's yai.
Yeah. I'll probably be saying yai.
Yeah. So I'd say latte yen wan noi, yai, cup and cup.
Nice. I'm thinking about doing a Muay Thai session out there. And if
You
not,
have to.
yeah, I feel like I have to.
You wouldn't go Turkey, not get a kebab.
That's true. It's very true. That's true. Yeah, I should. And if not, I mean, I will. But I also want to go to one of those. I don't know if this is something you did when you were out there. You know, those bars with the rings in the middle.
What are you gonna say?
Well, there's two avenues I could go here with this. It's either I watch or I compete.
Are you gonna go to? Are you gonna go to some strip clubs? Do you reckon?
Oh nah, mate. Not with my family, bro. No.
You might. I don't know. You might go.
I would never. Not with my family, man. Nah.
Would you go with your brother? No.
Nah, man. No way. Nah, it's just weird, isn't it?
Really, I don't think it's that weird to go with your brother. It depends what type of relationship you have with your brother.
Nah, I mean, I have a good relationship with him, but it's just like.
So you wouldn't go to if you had a good relationship, you'd go to strip club.
I mean, if I was drinking, obviously I don't. If I was hammered, I think we'd find it funny. Yeah, I'd do it.
You're going drinking, obviously. You're not gonna be sober going to the strip club.
Yeah. See, that would just be shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never.
It goes without saying. If you're drinking, I'm not saying go sober light of day, 12 in the afternoon, go for some lunch. I'm saying you're getting on the sauce. You're getting boozed. You're in a lively bit of Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, not for me, obviously. But for many.
I don't know about that. Yeah, things are getting lively, and then you just end up in the.
You just somehow it just happens.
Seven Sins Disco.
Oh, sounds oddly specific. It's just a lived experience.
No, just sounds like something like a strip club.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Going to enjoy it, and I obviously will be doing the podcast out here, so I'm going to have to take my camera and all that jazz out of here because we don't miss. We make sure we get stuff out. And equally, I've been looking at going away again at the end of January. So Iceland, probably the most direct opposite to that. So I'm just going to go.
You know what's weird?
I mentioned it before. Did I mention it to you? I know it was a solo trip I mentioned before.
On Voyage Privé at the moment, they've got an all-inclusive trip with everything included in regards to the excursions for 350 quid.
350 quid?
Yeah, all in. Whack.
No way.
Whale watching. Northern Lights.
For how long?
Spas. A few days, probably a couple of days.
Yeah, we're looking to go for a week, to be fair. So I was going to say. But...
You won't want to go there for a week. It's a long time.
You reckon? Well, I don't know. We're still planning it at the moment.
Who's with? Your family?
Nah. It was really just going to be me.
Friends.
And then I was talking about it with a couple of mates and they're like, yeah, I'll go. I was like, all right,
Mate,
let's do it.
I don't think you'll need to go for a week. 7 days is a bit much. And plus the most expensive place in the world.
Or maybe we're doing 5. I can't remember what we said. It was 5 or it was a week. I think 5 days is probably.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, but I've never been. I've always wanted to go for a lot of different reasons. But it's a beautiful place. And I'm always more of a cold person anyway. So that'll be fun. You know, and you know, it's about spending money. Saving money is all well and good, but if you don't have anything to spend it on, what's the point?
You have many things to spend it on.
I mean, outside. I'm talking about outside of work, of course.
But that is your life.
Yeah,
that's what takes you to those places.
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
But you also should enjoy it. So as a fine balance.
Yeah, of course, and I think that'll be a time just to. That'll be a time just to enjoy myself and really, just, I don't know. Be nice. It'd be nice to just check off the bucket list because I've never been. And
I also think that there's definitely, I definitely think there's ways for you to integrate your travel into your work. So even if you then explored the Icelandic culture in regards to the Vikings in combat or something, you know, because there's a lot of interesting narratives there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also, yeah, something I was going to talk about. I have got a sort of, what I was struggling with talking about. I've had a lot of them recently. Not
pasties.
Yeah, but like shit ones from the supermarket, and they were just a bit crap.
Dead.
Do you remember when Greg used to do Cornish pasties? Honestly, they removed them about 10 years ago, and I still haven't. I'm still not over it.
There's
Mate,
actually one place in the world. It's called Chuff Bakery, Cornwall, Padstow. That's where
Of course, it's Cornwall, isn't it?
That's I'm not coming at you with some the Greggs on Luton High Street. No, I'm telling you the exact place that serves up the best pasties.
Oh, I don't doubt there's better than Greg's, but it's just a childhood memory, you know.
Yeah. To be fair, they're not bad. You know what you're getting when you pay a little pound, little greasy sausage roll.
Yeah.
To be honest, I could smash a few of those. I used to love them hung over at uni. Love them with a Capri Sun.
Mate, student deal. Oh, Capri Suns, mate. I get them all the time. Unashamed. What
were you saying?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was talking about struggling with like the motivation of or just workload, just in general, being a bit burnt out with my main channel stuff. But I had a sort of burst of I guess I got that fire back within me, but it wasn't through the MMA channel, it was through the games channel, because I hadn't uploaded on it and like closing on not far off 2 months because of the lack of motivation of just across what I was doing. And I finally got one of the videos out I was doing, and it pulled it's on like 1,000 views now.
Nice.
Which I know, again, we've spoken about this before, but it doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people. And obviously, in comparison to my MMA channel, it's
just cold, hard speaking at the camera.
But it's straight up just speaking with a green screen comp. Yeah, with a green screen comp in the back. And that in itself, within that niche, is really hard to crack, because the games niche is probably the biggest on YouTube. I reckon one of few to be like the hardest ones to actually get into. So the fact it's doing those numbers with that little platform is like a nice proof of concept that format can actually work over the long period of time. So I'm got a little bit of fire within me that's going to do well. I got a lot of feedback because a lot of people didn't have nice things about what I had to say. Honestly, that's the worst thing about saying your opinion. Is just I almost forget that that's a thing, because I'm so unbiased on my main channel, right, that I just don't really get comments that start just attacking me because of some things I said. And then I was like, why are you so mad?
You are a piece of shit, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's so dumb, because I literally make a point about it in my banner and in the videos. I make a point that I literally talk about only the games that I actually love and have like a really like a connection to it over the years. So like when I'm talking about things I don't like about them, or like I'm critiquing them, it comes from a place of love, but they just completely ignore that and say, "No, how dare you?
You don't need to explain the fact that the internet is not nuanced."
No, of course,
understand this by now.
Of course. It's just ridiculous. Sometimes you overestimate or underestimate the stupidity of certain individuals within the online space. But yeah, it's good to get those videos done back, and I'm excited because they're a lot more. As I said before, they're a lot more personable to me. So it's nice when they get a bit of traction and do good numbers, because I take pride in the things I say on them, I suppose, because I'm giving my opinion, right? It does feel different. It feels like it's got more weight to it compared to the MMA stuff where I'm telling a story. You know, I'm more of the spectator, if you will.
On the spectrum?
No.
Spectator.
Someone did say that to me the other day, and I was like, no, there's no way. Well, we were just joking around. I was like, there's no way.
No way.
Well, it's not there's no way, but I feel like I could tell. That's no, that sounds bad. No, okay. No, I'm not even going to get
how do you mean? What, you don't think that you're on the spectrum?
Nah, I don't. Well, I mean, I guess everyone is, right?
You do jujitsus, firstly.
True, yeah.
You're instantly higher on the spectrum than the average human.
Yeah, the baseline is like, I'm already there.
First and
I'm
foremost,
already up there. I'm like 10% up.
Yeah, you like MMA also means you're a little bit on the spectrum.
No. I think that just means you like eating crayons, you know? That's where you get your intellectual stimulation.
Back in the day, it was called crayon eating. Now it's on the spectrum. Truth of it is a very broad spectrum. You definitely, even if you have certain preferences like you do, you're on there. So, yeah, I wouldn't say you avoid of it, but should it prevent things that you're doing? No,
absolutely not.
I don't think it should.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. That was a nice bit of coverage for the last, I mean, it's 2 weeks now, isn't it? Really? We should be back. I mean, this should be. Stop it! Stop! We should be back again on this Sunday. So this should be a double week episode, something like that. This has been the MMA Creators Podcast, episode number 79, and we will see you again next Sunday. Have a good one.